lot of people have egg in their face because there's a lot of the Democrats, a lot of the radicals on the left have made champions out of horrible, horrible people. The fellow at Columbia that was deported, Mangione. I mean, we are picking our wrong heroes. And, it's one thing to say these folks may have been denied their rights, but to kind of make them into heroes sends a very, very bad message. Look, the ultimate goal of deportation, the ultimate goal of denying people visas is preventive. You mentioned my book, The Preventive State. And in The Preventive State, I go into the traditional use of deportation as a preventive mechanism. It goes back to the Bible where people were exiled. It goes back to common law where kings exiled people who were thought dangerous. And deportation is a form of exile, and denying people the right to come into this country the way Trump has done for some students is also a preventive mechanism designed to prevent them
from... And you say it's good. In cases it can be good and necessary.
That's right, and that's why we have to strike a balance. In my book, The Preventive State, I try to create a framework for when it's appropriate to deport people, to prosecute people preventively, and when it's not. Look, we've made terrible mistakes in the name of prevention. We put 110,000 Japanese Americans, mostly citizens, into camps after we failed to prevent Pearl Harbor. We tortured people after we failed to prevent 9/11. Israel is accused of overreacting for failing to prevent October 7th. So in my book, I argue and I prove that when a country fails to take appropriate preventive actions and a horrible event occurs, it will often overreact after the fact and do things it shouldn't have done. So prevention is very important, not only for the security of the country, but it also protects the civil liberties of the country if it's done right. But it has to be done right.
You have a whole chapter in this book, The Preventive State, on free speech, but you make the argument there that, because we've been hearing a lot of criticism of the government for arresting students who are visiting here on visas after they protested the war on Gaza. You make the case those students don't have the same rights to free speech that we Americans have.
Well, not at all. First, they have no rights to free speech when they try to get into the country. They can be kept out of the country if the government doesn't like what they're going to say. So they have no free speech rights. If they have visas, they have to comply with their visas. So they don't have the right, for example, to make speeches that are inconsistent with the terms of their visa. If they have green cards, then they have the same rights as citizens do, as long as their green cards were appropriately obtained. If they say on their green card application that they're here to study and they have no interest in having demonstrations or encampments, and then it can be proved that they always had an interest in encampments, they too can be denied their rights.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.